Hello, I'm the Keeper Cubes.
And you're listening to episode 58 of the CornerCutter podcast. Hey, welcome to the CornerCutter podcast. Podcasting since 2014 and cubing since 2015. I'm Josh, your host, and this is the most consistent cubing podcast dedicated to entertain and educate you with in-depth conversations with cubers from all across the sport. My website is thecornercutterpodcast.com, and thank you so much for joining me today. If you are a new listener or a new subscriber, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it, and I'm really glad to have you here. So this week, we are doing another YouTuber show. That's where I bring on one or two YouTubers and talk all about YouTube, making videos, how to get subscribers, all that. This week, I only have one person on, and that is Cuber Cubes. He has the YouTube channel, The Cuber Cubes, and he makes lots of interesting and awesome videos. I think this episode will resonate with a lot of you newer and lesser known YouTubers, those with, let's say, under 500 subscribers, because that's what I am and that's what he is. He has about 110 subscribers right now, I think a little bit over that. And nowadays, with YouTubers, it's hard to get your channel known and stuff like that, so we talk about that. I would love to hear all your feedback, questions, comments, suggestions for future shows and future guests. You can email all that to feedback@thecornercutterpodcast.com or josh@thecornercutterpodcast.com will also work. I had the first YouTuber show in episode 27. That was with Moonwink Cuber and Ghost Cuber, and now let's jump into the second YouTuber show right now. Okay, now I'm chatting with Cuber Cubes. He runs the YouTube channel Cuber Cubes, The Cuber Cubes. So Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, I am very excited. I heard about the podcast and was like, yeah, I want to be on a podcast. You can check out my channel. I have some, if you're watching this, I don't think you're going to edit this before Halloween, but I do have some pretty exciting special for Halloween, and I have a bunch of videos. I try to get daily uploads but I'm not perfect, but I try to do my best with all my videos. And of course, I watch the CornerCutter podcast, probably my favorite podcast, and to be honest, the only one I listen to, so yeah.
Oh, cool. Thanks for the compliment. So, first question, what is the funniest comment you have ever gotten?
Okay, I was thinking about this question this morning, because I looked at them. So, sadly, in my opinion, my worst comment was actually my first ever comment on any of my videos, which was kind of discouraging. I remember when it was like a comment, and it was like, oh, your videos are so bad, these facts are not real, and like they're all fake, and they're all super bad. So what I ended up doing, I deleted that person's comment, because I was like didn't like it at all, and then I checked out their channel, and their channel was like, not even that good, like they didn't have proper grammar in the titles, they misspelled a lot of things, and it was just like, and that's what like kind of made me go back into YouTube and go like, I'm going to prove all these people that I can make good videos. So it was kind of like an inspiring thing.
Hey, that's cool. Is that your funniest comment or your worst?
Funniest and worst.
Okay.
I remember when I got it, I told my dad, and we just started laughing because it was such a stupid comment.
Yeah.
When he has like, not such a, I don't want to say the name, I personally don't remember, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, one of my funniest one was I posted 3x3 solved on a unicycle, and like in a few days someone commented, I once solved a 4x4 on a unicycle. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. You kind of one-upped me. And then, so I think it was a few months later, I posted 5x5 solved on a unicycle. And I told him, I replied to his comment and said, look at what I did. Because we were kind of joking about that. And then he said, would it count if I solved a Megaminx? Would that be harder? And then he said, I guess I'll have to do 7x7 or something.
Well, I guess you ended up getting a friendship out of that.
Mm-hmm. Sort of. So, yeah.
That's pretty funny, in my opinion.
So, when did YouTube come into the picture in your cubing journey?
So, I remember this. I personally, in my opinion, I was pretty slow. I was cubing, and I think I had not gone to any comps yet, but it was like, I'm cubing at my house, but like I'm not connected. I don't cube with anybody, and I'm like alone. I only cube by my own. I was like, what if I like make a YouTube channel? So I made this YouTube channel to keep my identity hidden, and I started off with that video, and then I got like that mean comment, and then like I kind of quit for like a few months, and then I was back, and it's history. I went from 0 subs to I think it's 118 right now. So yeah.
Oh wow, nice.
And in the course of a few months, which in my opinion, I'm really happy of all the support I've gotten. Because I know you've been here for like how many years again?
It's coming up on 2 in late December for the CornerCutter podcast.
Yeah, that's insane. And you have only 78, and like yeah. In my opinion, I personally find it really awesome how you edit the podcast. I find it pretty cool.
Thanks. Yeah. So like, how fast are you, or were you when you started the channel, and like, what did your cubing, like, what were you interested, like, what events or stuff were you interested in back then when you started?
So I remember when I started, I don't really remember my times. I remember it was really early 2018. I only had a cubing classroom, 2 through 5 set that I got for like, my parents just bought it for me. And so I just played around with that. I did like, I averaged like, I think I was like in the 40s or 30s. I don't really remember. I can look back into some of my like private videos, but I probably did a lot of 2x2 like all beginners do, because it's the event that they do the fastest. So yeah. Okay.
So like, when you started the channel, what was your purpose for the channel? What value did you want to offer, and what were your goals? So maybe you could hit those one at a time. Why did you want to start the channel, and what value do you think you could bring?
First, in my opinion, this pretty much the personal reason. I started the channel because I wanted to get more into the community, because I feel like I wanted to comp. I've never went to comps, but I felt like a lot of people had like what's it called, like a YouTube channel, and like they were pretty good. So I was like, I should do this, and like to get more into the community. And for the value, I just think I watched a lot of YouTube, and I still do, and I always see certain YouTubers that have weaknesses and strengths. Like some of them have really good quality, but they don't bring that funny aspect into it, or that comedy, or that home like feel aspect. And I always just wanted to be that person who like you connected with. That's why in all my live streams I have chat open, and I try to pay as much attention to that, because I'm more of like a fan-based kind of person. I usually ask a lot of questions to my fans and that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Hey, that's really cool. Yeah, I definitely like that about you, and like, I guess I sort of try to be that way as well. So like, what were your goals for the channel when you started?
Well, when I started, of course, to be honest, I had that dream of me being some kind of JR Keeper, but then I went like, okay, let's get to realistic mode. I'm gonna do this as like a free thing. I probably will upload super consistently, probably like 90% solves, and like, I was like, maybe like 25 subs, and then I was like, okay, 50 would be amazing. I remember when I hit 50, I was really happy.
Okay, yeah, I was super pumped when I hit 50 as well. It seemed like I couldn't get past 30 for a while though, but of course, as most of you, or a lot of you might know, I don't focus on YouTube and making
Yeah,
videos.
you do a podcast.
Yeah, I just happen to upload the podcast to YouTube so it's easier for people on there to consume. So, yeah, getting those first few subscribers can be hard.
Yes, that's like, one of the things that I personally try to do, I try to not tell pretty much anybody about my channel. I tell my parents, like, you can subscribe to me, but like, don't give me that jump start. I want to do it from my own. I want to do something personally on my own, something that I start, like that I grow from it. And to be honest, I still remember that day I got my first subscriber, and I was so happy.
Oh, that's good. So what's something you didn't expect after you started your channel? Was it like, did you have certain expectations that weren't fulfilled, or something that surprised you?
Well, to be honest, the beginning was a lot harder. I thought it was a lot easier to get that jump start, but then I realized that I was starting pretty late, and the keeping community had grown into like a bunch of YouTubers, and I just had to try to break into that like a room, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So, I personally wasn't. I thought I was gonna just get right into it and get those like 25 and like just kind of stay there for like a while and maybe grow a tiny bit little by little, but that start was impossible. Like, I remember just posting and trying my best, and I remember like it just, but after like, I think it was after like 25, I got that massive boost of like 2 months, and it was like 70 something subs. It was amazing. I got like my email, 50 subscribers in a month, and I was like, that was my goal for like my life, and I was like so happy when I got that email of like my YouTube success.
Yeah. Trying to think back, what's something I think it was I thought it was going to be a lot easier to get subscribers. And then maybe also the fact that it's sometimes hard to create videos and like produce quality content, like getting the right camera angle or good lighting.
Yeah.
That can be hard sometimes.
Like, I started with an IKEA lamp, yellow light that made an extreme amount of shadow. I did not have no idea how to use iMovie, and I was absolutely clueless. I did not ask for any advice, and I was filming. I made up this stand with a bunch of cubes and some books to put my iPad, which I filmed with. And I transferred all my videos, like my clips, through email, which took me about a good 2 hours just to transfer my videos. When today I'm able to do it in minutes.
Wow. That's a good story.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It seemed really easy to make like Jared Kuber quality videos, but like I still not even close to that level in my opinion, but who knows?
So you spoke of equipment a minute ago. What is your current equipment now? What do you use for a camera and, let's say, background?
So just current, like right now, or what I started?
Right
okay,
now.
Right now. Okay. So right now, I still don't have a boom box, but I do personally have like my own lighting system. I still use this IKEA lamp, but I have learned to like shade the shadow down. I use this super bright white lamp, which gives most of my lighting. And I also have this extra lamp that I use once in a while. For a desk, I use this IKEA desk, white desk. I used to use StackMac in the background, but I really didn't like it. And camera, I use my phone. Also, what else am I? Oh, I use
phone.
this.
That can just sometimes be the easiest and best solution. Like the phone cameras nowadays are getting so
really
good. So you really don't need anything extra, especially when you're starting out.
I personally don't own a microphone. I've been starting to think about using my headphone mic, but I'm not unsure about that. And I use this Amazon tripod I bought off Amazon. I don't know the name of it. I can look it up later, but I don't have it on me. And I usually use my StackMat to record solves, though I sometimes do some iPad/computer solves. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So moving on a little bit to the actual publishing videos, do you like record a bunch of videos and then set the time, the publish date, so they go out like once a day, or what do you do there?
Oh, well, I started just like once I got a video, I just published it straight out, and like I just edited it and just published it straight out through iMovie, which was pretty inefficient. But today, the new preview, or is it premiere? Yeah, premiere on YouTube. It was just added. I love that feature. It's been helping my viewers kind of like catch on to my videos, and like it's like a live stream, but they get to watch my actual edited video.
Okay, so could you explain that a little bit more?
So YouTube just came out with this thing called premieres. If you watch a lot of YouTube channels, it probably is. They've probably started doing it. So it's like this thing that you set a time. Well, you can either do it straight out the premiere or just set a schedule time. So let's say I put a video to go out at 8 p.m. my time, and then I publish it at 3. There's gonna be this whole live stream hyping it up.
Oh wow!
So it's pretty cool. And when you are gonna publish a video through a YouTube platform, it gives you that option. I've been using that a lot, but what I usually do is that I film a video, edit it, and just publish it, premiere it, and chat. I sometimes live stream my editing, but that's only during weekends, usually.
Okay. What do you do for thumbnails? Do you upload custom thumbnails or just choose the best one?
To be honest, right now I've been having a hard time. My latest video, YouTube decided to be really stupid, and the thumbnails are not working. So I have this like bad thumbnail, but I use the Google Drawing. I learned to use it at school a few years ago. The Google Drawing thing on Google Drive, and I use that. I'm pretty good at it. I've gotten a lot of compliments for my thumbnails. I've even had people ask to do fun thumbnails, so I'm pretty good at them. I try to do them with every single video. So like while it's like loading up on YouTube, I usually do the thumbnail. So.
Yep. Good use of time right there.
Yeah. So I don't just like leave my room and then do the thumbnail. And I've been getting really good at saving time while editing and doing all that.
What do you include in the description and tags?
So tags, I just literally write every single word on the title, every single thing that I talk about in the video. I do Rubik's, and all of that. I do whatever cube is in the video. I add a lot of tags. That's one of my like moves. And for the description, I do like this little message usually, like hope you enjoyed the video, blah blah blah, on the video. And then like 2 links down, I usually have links like my email where I get my cubes, CS timer, my PBs, just stuff I use, so you guys can look at that, because I just feel like that's like for YouTubers, that just like really helps me out in my opinion. And yeah.
Okay, cool. So moving on a little bit on actually making the videos. How do you get ideas of what like people want to watch, or like good videos that you think would be fun to make?
Well, I either have 500 million video ideas and I just start making them, or I either have no idea. So Abarka J just published the video. He's a nice YouTuber, and how he gets ideas, it's in his Q&A, and he just stares at his cube collection. In my opinion, I do something very similar. I kind of just look and I think, I watch YouTube and I go like, hey, JR Cuber just did this comparison between 2 cubes. Maybe I can do something similar because people are watching that. Like I found out about this new channel and I see their most popular video is like a comparison between 2 cubes. And I go like, okay, I might do a comparison or something. Yeah, that's kind of how I go off it. I'll try to do what the people are watching, and not my channel, but other channels. I have the Cube Talk series, which has been extremely successful in my channel, and people love that, and I've been just doing that if I have something to talk about. Yeah. Cool.
I really like those ideas. Could you explain a little more about what a Cube Talk is in your channel?
So Cube Talks is this thing I made up from like the beginning of my channel. It started off on the 4th of July. I went like, should I make like a voiceover of something cool about my cubing life? And then it was like the 4th of July special, and that was kind of how it started. And then I went like, Cube Talks, that sounds like catchy. And I was like, I like to ramble about stuff, and I like making like talking about stuff. And like I was like, why don't I just make a series about this? I've made videos about my pet peeves, competitions. I don't think I've done this, but I'm gonna probably do one spoiler about how competition judges can be so annoying.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I've had a lot of bad stories, but let's not get off topic. It's like kind of like a podcast, but it's extremely short. I try to do them under 7 minutes or less, and over 2 minutes. It's just me talking about stuff, and I usually put solves in the background I've done 5x5, 2 through 7 relays. I've done a lot of stuff on them. So yeah.
Is there anything else about YouTube that you think could be issues for newer YouTubers or even for people that have been on here for a while?
First up, let's talk about big YouTubers, since I'm not a big one and I just have an opinion about this. Big YouTubers, the monetization that's been happening with like everyone, I just like YouTube just like stop like keeping channels. Like there's like gaming channels, you literally just play a game and edit it. It's not really that hard. But like cubing, you gotta come up with an idea, buy a cube, and it's like really complicated. And like how gaming channels are getting all these views when cubing channels are putting like so much work into these videos. I just find it unfair. Cause like gaming YouTubers put like 2 videos out a day, since it's like pretty easy to make a video.
So I guess moving off of YouTube for a little bit, how personally did you get into cubing?
Now this is probably a really complicated one. So, I personally the Rubik's Cube. I personally always kind of like cool, and I personally love solving sides. I enjoyed playing around with it, and it was super fun. And I overall really did enjoy it, but that was like for 3 years because I got one for like my birthday. But I never learned how to solve it. I just solved sides. But I moved to this new school. I met a guy. Don't want to say his name. I've talked about him. He seemed like a nice guy at first, but later when I got into cubing, he wasn't as nice as I thought. But he got me into cubing. He like recommended me the MF3 like 2 through 5 set. He got me. He learned me teach me some algs. Later, he would lie about me how he was sub 3 on Pyraminx, but of course I didn't believe him, and of course he lied. But yeah, he was like nice. We're friends, but he still knows that it was wrong when he told me that, and I don't find it nice. But to not get off topic, I just kind of got into the cube. I moved to a new school. I like the cube, and I got into it, and I just got addicted, and I just kept going.
Okay. So what current method do you use for 3x3?
So I use a really cool method. It's really rare. It's called C-flop. Like I don't know. Yeah.
What do you do for last layer though?
I know like 90% I know pretty much all the PLOs. I just do some really inefficiently, so I need to improve on that. I personally think F2L right now is my strength. I am pretty like good at it. I get it sub 10. It's just my last layer is like a mess. I know I'm pretty sure I know more OLLs than PLOs, which is not how things work. I like know OLLs that only people who know like full PLO know, and I'm like only people who are trying to get sub 10 know. And I know a few tricks. I try to teach, but overall 3x3 is like my second favorite event.
Yeah, so you're going through this all, finish F2L, get
and
OLL just, done in a flash. And then take a little while on PLL and then stop the timer. What is this PLL?
Oh, yeah, it's the E-perm. Okay. My finger trick for the E-perm is really good. I should make a video about that.
What method do you use for 4x4?
Oh, my favorite event. I love 4x4. It's my favorite event. I use Yao, and I know how to do half centers, and I use them like in some of my solves, but I personally I have like my own method for centers that's pretty good, like efficient. Though I do half centers like once in a while, if like they're pretty easy. I use edges. I personally have pretty good TPS. My 3x3 stage makes me a lot slower than I should be, but I use the Alza GTS Swim, which gives me a pretty good advantage, to be honest. And I also have a mini Wu Shui, so like I'm.
Hey, yeah, I just am finishing up my review of the mini Wu Shui. How do you think it compares to the Aosu, mini Aosu?
Now, the thing about the Wu Shui, I've been a fast cube person. My light turning style needs fast cubes. And I just think the Wu Shui, the speed, I tried sprint compressing it, but now it's super unstable. So I had to tighten the tension, so the corner cutting is not good. So my solves are locky, and it's like, I could use it, and I get like pretty close to my average. So I do personally think it just doesn't fit my turning style. So the size is amazing. I love it.
Oh, wow.
Now the GTS 2M, the thing is just the corner cutting, it's fast. It's like fits my turning style. The only thing, the size is a little big. It's like 1 millimeter, but extra setup. I set it up with the angstrom loops, and like the thing is like godly. It just turns well. It has great corner cutting. It's super smooth, which is something not a lot of 4x4s have. Because I like buttery smooth, not like with like a little bit of crunch. I like smooth where you pretty much can't feel anything. And this magnet strength, the Mini Wucho has pretty light magnets. And I personally like the stronger magnet feel of the AOSU GTS2. So I think for the price, the Mini Wucho, if you're like on a lower budget, get it. Because like it's probably just me being really picky about...
Yeah, like, some of the things you said about the Mini AOSU, or Mini... Is it the Mini AOSU?
No, it's the AOSU GTS2. It's like... They call it the GTS2, and I'm like, that's a 3x3. No, the AOSU, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting confused.
Don't name your puzzles the exact same thing.
Yeah, like call it AOSU V2, or like make up like a whole new name for it.
Yeah. So it sounds like the AOSU and the Mini Wucho M have a lot of stuff that I would like, but they have the downsides as well. So like the AOSU, it's the price, and
it's the size.
Size, yep. And
then, in my opinion, this doesn't happen to a lot of people, but it's a little blocky. So if you're like don't like blocky keys, you probably might not wanna. It's like a pretty blocky when you're like turning fast. So.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't care, but like some people do.
So I guess they haven't come out with my perfect 4x4 yet. Hopefully
in my opinion,
soon,
the AOSU GTS2M is really close to being perfect. It's probably just the size, and like I have to say maybe like a little bit more speed on the inners, because like that's it. But like with setup, that's fixed in like seconds. So yeah.
Okay. So I guess you mentioned this already. Your overall favorite event is 4x4.
Yes.
So what do you think your strongest event is?
I don't like saying this, but I think it's 2x2. I had this moment in my keeping career when I went like, I'm a god at 2x2. I average 6 seconds, and I'm a god, and I can be sub 1 with LBL, and I'm a god, and it was really weird. I didn't even use Ortega. I used LBL only. And then I got like I started averaging like 5, and I'm like, I might as well just learn Ortega. I did like an average of 1,000 on my Chew one, and like, yeah, I just got I'm pretty sure I'm almost sub 4, so like, I'm pretty good.
Nice. On Ortega?
And LBL, okay. But I have like a lot of, I just made a video about tricks, and I'm like, I feel like if I learned like CLL, I would be a lot faster, but I just don't want to 2x2s, like, I don't really enjoy it as much. So like,
yeah, and it is a pain learning those algorithms.
Yeah, because like it's just really, I know you know CLL.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to learn?
CLL? Well, I like started twice and didn't finish. And when I really worked on it, probably took me a month and a half, maybe. Oh,
I had a friend, Tasia. She just like stopped her channel. I'm pretty sad about that, but let's not get into that. She learned like almost all CLOs in like a month, so I guess a month is average for like most people.
If you can, I mean, some of the algorithms are similar to 3x3, so.
Yeah, because I figured some out. Like, I know, like, some CLOs, like, just a tiny bit, though. Like, I figured some out, like, intuitively, because, like, there's that one where it's, like, it's pretty much just under a Ortega case. You just have to, like, line it up.
Yeah, and then it's the recognition that's even harder.
Oh, yeah. Like, I feel like I just don't have the time for that, and I'd rather just, like, practice my 3x3, get it nailed down, and practice my 4x4 in bigger cubes, which I personally enjoy.
Yeah, there's, like 3 or 4 CLLs that if I don't practice 2x2 for a month or so, that I forget the correct recognition.
Yeah. And I personally like also the finger tricks. Like I like spamming 2x2. It's like pretty much like the reason I'm fast. All my algs are like sub 1, and like even the Y perm sometimes.
That's cool.
So like that's pretty much the reason. And my recognition's pretty fast for like the basic cases, but I don't think I can like take the more complicated cases.
Did you have a video that you were talking about like tips for your first competition?
I made that video just because I personally was I had this super weird feeling in my first competition. It was like excited but still nervous because I was scared I couldn't find friends.
Mm-hmm.
Since literally when I entered the comp, I was like, wait, I only know one cuber for IRL in real life. So like I'm like, oh god, I just realized that. But now like I met this person and they just like got me in, and I think that competition got me into 4x4 since like I was using like an MF like Thunderclap
Okay.
Mini, I think it was. It was a Thunderclap Mini, like M from Cubicle Labs, and like I didn't really like because I wasn't that much into 4x4. But like I tried like a mini, like a Wucho AM, and that was like the time when like the Wucho AM was like this godly cube.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Ferrand was there. I had a great time, and I just wanted people to have a great time with their first competition. BTW, that's where I saw your T-shirt of the podcast, and I met you.
Cool. Yeah. So I guess my shirt worked.
It did.
Oh, cool. Did you happen to pick up any of my podcast cards?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta do a little better job of promoting those.
Well, I already know all about the podcast, and I'm in it, so I don't think I need one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe there would have been helpful.
Yeah, because like it's kind of hard finding. Because when you look up CornerCutter, like it's like this thing of like building a house or something.
Or like some like art
Guy
channel or
building like a house, like cutting like a corner of the house. And I'm just like, oh come on, I'm looking for a CornerCutter podcast, and then like fake channels with like 2 subscribers.
Of what?
Of like just like a channel who doesn't post, not fake. That was the wrong
Like
word.
what
just
was like what
usernames?
Yeah.
It was like podcast, corner podcast or something. It was like super similar. I'm like, and I like clicked on like filter channels. How are you not here? I typed your exact name.
So going to your first competition, what were you averaging on 3x3 at your first comp, and what do you think you should be before you go to a competition? And this is kind of a loaded question or a trick question.
I think I averaged like about in the 30s in my first competition. I tried to vlog, but I literally just filmed one thing in the whole competition. But I was averaging like 30 on 3x3, 6 on 2x2, 2 minutes on 4x4, so I didn't make cutoff, and that thing, and like 20 seconds on pyraminx. I was pretty slow, and if you want to be fast at your first competition, like go if you can solve it, but just if you average over the cutoff, then don't get sad if you don't make the cutoff for 3x3.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, so go, if you can solve it, go to a competition.
Yeah, because like I could go to a competition and not even compete, and I would have a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the social aspect. Like of course I love that nerve-wracking feel of like on a competition, like oh can I solve it? Can I get the goal? But like I have to say the social aspect is everything about it. Yeah. Almost everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you go to a competition when you're slower, you'll speed up just with a little bit of practice. So at your next comp, you'll be so much faster. And going to the competition will give you motivation to practice and stuff like that.
In my opinion, also like in the next competition, I like had a lot more confidence and I was ready to go. Another thing I realized I think it was a 2-second 2x2 solve, and I was static because it was like my last solve of the day. And I also learned like a lesson. I was having a bad 2x2 average, but I still learned that like never give up on those solves. And if you're really nervous about an event, just like it's a competition, do bad, it's fine. Like it's not gonna make an effect on your life. It's just if you miss the social aspect of a competition, in my opinion, it's the worst thing you can do at a competition.
Yeah, I got my PR for 2x2 single in a bad average. So
how ironic.
Yeah, same story.
Well, today I get 2s like every single average, but like
yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's a 2. And like literally I've been getting 1s and I'm like it's 1. It's like nothing. I get a 1.3. Okay, that's good, but like
yeah.
I only practice 2x2 with like my friends because like they want to do 2x2.
What? Any other tips you have for people going to their first competition?
Well, first up, just go. Like, if you don't go, you're gonna miss out on an experience of your life. Judge. Judge is like the easiest way to make friends. Seriously, I judged in the first 30 seconds of me judging. I made a friend. It was insane. It's cool. Like judge, be in the competition, be part of it. You'll make friends. Another thing that I like to do, just sit with someone. Ask someone, can I try your? We were like, can I try your like GTS 2? Which I know seems like an old cube now, but like not that old, but like we have like GTS 3 now.
Yeah, and one comp don't walk over to someone's table and pick up their cube without asking.
Never do that.
Start solving it or saying this feels nice or something like that.
Yes, don't do that. I am pretty much like I'm personally someone who invests a lot of my earned money on cubing, and also another thing I want to say, if you have like 50 puzzles, a competition is not a thing to show off your puzzles. I personally just bring my mains and sometimes my backups. Backups are not even needed because you can just borrow someone's cube if anything happens, which probably won't even happen. Like I bring all the events and maybe like a backup 3x3 and like a puzzle that I want to show to the people there. And then I buy like 2 puzzles and then I'm done.
Cubes, I think we're giving some awesome first competition tips or competition tips in general. So I think we're going to have to create like a list or a podcast episode on competition do's and don'ts. That would be exciting.
Yes.
And like funny stories would come out and stuff like that. So
yeah, I've not been to much competitions, but I know what you shouldn't do because I'm extroverted. But that day I felt like an introvert, to be honest. Like that first minute of being in a comp, I felt. At first I thought you had to like sign in for like a computer, so I went through the competing station and asked, "Where do you sign up?" My mom was with me. It was so embarrassing, but.
She always makes mistakes, and that's okay.
Oh yeah, because I learned from them, and I have a funny experience out of it now.
So you guys listening, go check out CuboCube's channel, The CuboCubes.
CuboCubes? I'm the first one to pop up.
Oh, cool.
I always show up.
And I'll have the link in the show notes to this episode. Just go to thecornercutterpodcast.com/show notes, and it'll be right there. So that makes it easy for you. CuboCubes, thank you so much for joining me today on episode 58, I believe, of the CornerCutter podcast.
To be honest, I think it's 59, but I'm probably wrong, because I think Jaden's was 58.
His was 57, but I got one with Damien Bias coming out first. So, doing a little recording ahead. So, yeah.
What a spoiler. Well, you're going to get the one with Damien Bias out first, because of course you recorded that first. Well, this was awesome. I enjoyed talking about competitions, nerves, YouTube equipment, and how to pretty much start your cubing career, I guess.
I had a really fun time talking with CuboCubes. Make sure you go subscribe to his channel. I'll have the link to it in the show notes to this episode. You can go to thecornercutterpodcast.com and click on the episodes page. It'll be right there. Thanks for listening all the way to the end. I appreciate that. And remember, if you have any feedback, email me feedback or Josh at thecornercutterpodcast.com. So Josh at thecornercutterpodcast.com. Next week we'll have a normal show with cubing news, new records, releases, ratings, your shout-outs and feedback, reviews, all that fun stuff, alg of the week, and maybe a new question of the month. We'll see. So come back next week for that. Make sure you're subscribed. And that's it for this week's episode. It's time to take it back to the scrambling table. And I'll talk to you guys again next week. in episode 59 of the CornerCutter podcast. An interview with J. Perm is coming right up in episode 60.